Hello. Today, I wanted to recreate a Portuguese dish. It is something crazy that I saw in Porto when we were back there like 2 years ago. It's called the Francesinha, I think. Maybe I butchered that. I don't know. But it's this literally the craziest sandwich ever. Ever since I saw it in Portugal, I've been wanting to recreate it just because it's just so crazy that I just want to veganize it. Let's start off with the sandwich itself. It's got like 2 types of sausages, steak, deli meat, and an egg. Those are just the meats. The sauce is crazy too. It's like a tomato-based sauce, but it has white wine, red wine, beer, and whiskey, just all in the sauce. The sandwich is smothered, drowning in cheese. So when I first saw it, I thought it was like a lasagna or maybe like a flan. This dish is Porto's, like, that's what it's known for. It's like this big dish that Porto has. But yeah, I've been dying to recreate this dish. I've got everything I need, so I'm gonna go ahead and try it out. So the way I came up with this recipe is by looking at a bunch of traditional recipes because I wanted to make it as authentic as I could. So that's what I did. I just took from a bunch of different recipes, and this is what I came up with, and it came out pretty good. Okay, let's start off by making the sauce first. So you're gonna heat a small pan, and I did about 1 tablespoon to 2 tablespoons of canola oil. And then I diced up some red onion, maybe like 1/3 of a cup, half a cup. Saute that, and I minced up 1 garlic clove. So I'm just gonna saute that until the garlic is pretty fragrant and the onions are translucent. And then I'm gonna do a teaspoon of the Better Than Bouillon No Beef paste and mix it in with about half a cup of water. And I'm gonna do a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce, I think that's how I say it. And I wanted to find the Superbock, which is a Portuguese beer, but I totally forgot, and whatever, I had Corona in the fridge, so I'm gonna do 1 whole thing of Corona. I'm also gonna do 3 ounces of white wine, and I'm gonna do half a tablespoon of salt and mix that up. And then I'm gonna add about 8 tablespoons of tomato sauce. You can add more or less depending on how tomatoey you want it. And 1 bay leaf. And then I'm just gonna let this simmer or come to a simmer for about 10 minutes to let some of that alcohol cook off. So once about 10 minutes have passed, I'm gonna add 1.5 ounces of red wine and about 1.5 ounces of whiskey and mix that up in there. And then I'm gonna also make a cornstarch slurry for this. So I have about 2 tablespoons of cornstarch that I'm gonna mix in with a little bit of water. And I'm gonna add that to our sauce mixture we've got going on here. And this will just help thicken it up a bit. So then I'm just gonna let that continue simmering on low heat for about 30 minutes. And I just kept tasting it on and off until most of the alcohol is burned off and you can't really taste it anymore. And then just add more salt as needed. So the traditional sandwich also has steak in it. I went ahead and made my own seitan steak. I have a recipe on how I made this one in another video, but I just made this one super thin so that it's easy to cut in the sandwich. So heat up a cast iron pan, and then I added like 2 tablespoons of butter. I just used the Earth Balance one, and then let that heat up in the pan also. And then you're gonna go ahead and add the seitan. I had already prepared it with some garlic powder and salt, and then just coat the other side with garlic powder and salt while the other side's cooking. And I left it maybe like 5 minutes on each side. And then once it's nice and golden brown, you can set that aside. For the sausage, I'm using the Beyond Meat Hot Italian sausage. This one's really good. But yeah, I'm just throwing it onto that same pan and just gonna toss and turn it until it's nice and charred on all sides, and then set that aside. Once the sausage has cooled down a little bit, I'm just gonna cut it into quarters so that it's easy to layer onto the sandwich. All right, it is time to assemble this beast. So we're gonna start off with the steak on just a piece of regular bread, and then we're gonna layer on the sausages. For the ham, I found this Tofurkey smoked ham style, which I hadn't seen before, but I found it at Target, which is perfect. So I'm gonna layer some of those on top of the sausage. And these are so thin, I should have added more ham, but it's fine. And then put the top piece of bread on it. And one thing that I thought about doing after is to add a little bit of sauce in between each of those layers, just so it's not like as dry. But either way, the sandwich ends up swimming in the sauce, so it doesn't matter. And then time for the cheese. So I'm using the Violife Provolone slices, and we're gonna use 5 total slices for this bread. So you're gonna put 1 slice of cheese on each side of the bread and try to like have it wrap it, and then you're gonna put 1 on the very top of the sandwich. What I ended up doing is kind of folding the slices underneath the bread, like tucking them underneath so that they kind of look like a little square. And because this is vegan cheese, I am gonna pop it in the toaster really quick so that it melts a little bit more, because it's not gonna completely like fully melt with the sauce. Maybe like 5 minutes. And then once the sauce has cooled down, we're gonna go ahead and blend it up. I just threw it in my Vitamix, and I'm gonna blend that up so that it gets a little bit creamy. Okay, so the sandwich is ready. We see that the cheese has melted a little bit, which is perfect what we want. So I'm just gonna transfer it off the little toaster thing and put it on a plate so that we can finish assembling this. Okay, so any Portuguese dish is not complete without some French fries. So I'm just adding some French fries around this sandwich before we top it off with the sauce. So yeah, now you just basically drench the thing with the sauce, and the sauce is still kind of hot, so it's gonna help to continue melting the cheese on the sandwich. But yeah, here it is. Here's the Francesinha. I think that's how you say it. Have you tried it before?
No.
You've never tried it?
No.
He's never tried the original. Neither have I.
Oh my god.
It looks like it though, right?
Doesn't want to come apart. See the little salami strips right there.
Hold on, let me see the inside. Okay, take 2. Go ahead, try it again. Recreate your first reaction. We had to turn the background noise off.
Well, it's a lot of meat in the sandwich. The French fries. You don't taste any alcohol. And it's delicious. There's a lot of cheese. Yep.
Yep. Oh, I didn't put an egg on top because I wasn't really trying to make a vegan fried egg, and just scrambled egg on it, like that wouldn't work. Either way, I've seen a bunch of recipes without the fried egg on it, so I only made 1 because like I think 2 of these is too many.
It's like what I thought it would taste like.
Wow, this is really busy.
It was real messy.
I can't even. Okay, here we go. Get a little bit of each meat in here. Oh my god. That is so flavorful. I'm gonna do the sauce.
So delicious.
The sauce came out pretty good.
It's so delicious.
You know, I probably wouldn't want to eat all of this together at once, but like the idea of all of this meat stuff together is I think it tastes good, but each on its own, you know what I mean? But you like it?
Yeah.
It's a mess. You think you could finish all that yourself?
I'm going to.
Oh. Oh. Damn, I can't believe you ate it all.